live on your tablet, phone, and the KUTV app. This is 2 News Live.
Yes, it is. Thanks so much for joining us on 2 News Live. I'm Brian Schnee. It is Tuesday, March 21st. We've been doing this thing for about a week or so. Thank you for streaming us on whatever platform you get your streaming news on. We've got a lot of things to get in depth on tonight. Obviously, the court case taking shape, a high-profile situation in the courtroom in Park City. We're talking about the case and trial involving Gwyneth Paltrow, and also diving deeper into the flooding situation in southern Utah. Before we get there, though, let's take a look at some of the headlines that you can find right now on our website. It's KUTV.com. Today, a judge granting the motion by Lori Vallow Daybell's attorney to take the death penalty off of the table. Experts say today's decision will likely make the overall trial shorter. A Utah public school, charter school rather, appears to be considering opening a private school campus. APA, American Preparatory Academy, taking applications, could take advantage of Utah's newly minted voucher law. Also making headlines, the obvious word here, drought, but it's also about the flooding potential. A new report shows how Utah's strong snowpack has affected drought conditions. According to the Utah Division of Water Resources, 39% of the state is in severe drought. That's down about 96% from last October. Finally, BYU minting a new president. Current VP Shane Reese is the new big dog there. Kevin Worthen, who served 9 years, will step down on May 1st. As we go in depth tonight, you can always get in touch with us throughout the show using the hashtag 2NewsLive to join the conversation. You can always find me on the socials there, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Send me a direct message there to weigh in. Let's get to meteorologist Chase Thomason. We're going to do something different here. We're going, what, 3D?
We are going 3D. So we're going to talk about the Santa Clara River down in the St. George area.
Let me get out of your way and get you some
Let's
room
walk
here
to the side of the screen and you'll see where we're sitting at right now. The latest river height is at about 10 feet, okay? Now, when we want to what we don't want to go is to flood stage. And the good news is that the rain has generally been light to moderate. We haven't seen that heavy rain.
So flood stage is where?
It is right now, it's at 10 feet. Flood stage, I believe, if you look closer to your screen, we're looking at about 14 feet, and the forecast
so
for
it has
crest,
to be at least a few more feet of,
that's right,
of water flow coming through the Santa Clara.
That's right. It's forecast to be about 13 and a half feet. So that's the good news. With this storm, we're seeing more snow in the mountains, and it's not really melting that snowpack. So there's always that risk for an elevated threat for flooding because we have historic snow pack right now down in southern Utah, but because the storm is on the colder side of things, we're probably not going to see the Santa Clara River or the Virgin River at least flood. Now it's running high and elevated fast. It's dangerous. You don't want to get close to it, but the good news is that our flood threat right now looks like it might be decreasing.
All of this could change though in the coming days or weeks, of course.
Right. We're still waiting for maybe to flip that switch and see that temperature climb. That's not in the forecast. What is in the forecast is some colder temperatures and more rain and snow. So let's get right to it. We have a lot to go over. Right now we are tracking those showers down in southern Utah, and you'll see where we have that widespread rain. It has shifted just east of St. George, east of I-15, away from the Santa Clara River, but the Virgin River is still seeing rain and snow towards Zion National Park, heavy mountain snow towards Bryan Head. They continue to get snow squall after snow band rolling through the area, scattered showers in southeastern Utah. We have snow from Blanding to Monticello, rain towards Lake Powell. All this moisture is going to stay down in southern Utah for a few more hours, but it's starting to lift northward. So central, northern Utah, it's going to be our turn later tonight. We're already starting to see that cloud cover roll into northern Utah, maybe a few sprinkles and some flurries in the mountains, but the bulk of the rain and snow is to our south. That changes tonight. And we're still waiting on the core of the storm to move in tomorrow. That brings in some cooler temperatures, and those snow levels will be dropping. Right now, they're at about 6,000, almost 7,000 feet. They'll get close to the valley floor, though, by tomorrow afternoon. So let's break this down hour by hour. There's that widespread rain and snow lifting into central and northern Utah later tonight. At 10 o'clock, any evening plans, grab your umbrella. There might be some winter driving through some of those mountain passes. Park City is likely going to stay all snow for you. We'll have more waves of precipitation rolling through just in time for your morning commute. And then notice by the afternoon, we're going to see that colder air move in. So some rain and snow showers for the lower valleys. Might be all snow sticking to grassy and elevated surfaces along some of our benches. Not as many of those hit and miss showers down in southern Utah. And this will likely linger Wednesday night and into Thursday morning. And it's going to be a brief break because we have another storm moving in Thursday night and into Friday. So when it comes to snow totals, we have winter storm warnings in the mountains of southern and northern Utah, another 1 to 2 feet by Thursday morning when you add it all up. Those mountain valleys like Park City, generally 4 to 8, but Park City could see a little bit more than that. Uinta Basin could see a couple inches of snow, maybe a couple inches of snow towards Cache Valley. We might see an inch or two along the Wasatch Front whenever we get some of that snow mixing in at times, but then it could switch back to rain and not going to really be sticking very much, I think, here in the lower valleys. Now, here comes our second storm Thursday night. You'll see the snow move in. It has some colder air with this cold front, and those snow showers will linger into your Friday. We might pick up a couple inches in the valleys with a lot more in the mountains. St. George, we have a few showers and storms tomorrow and on Thursday. Then you're drying out. But look at these temperatures in the low to mid 50s, well below normal. And Sunday gets even colder, 49 degrees. Right now, though, the weekend looks dry in St. George. We have rain and snow showers tomorrow, 46 degrees, a couple lingering into Thursday morning. And then here comes that second storm with rain and snow showers. All snow on Friday, and then there's another little disturbance bringing more snow showers over the weekend. And with all that snow, Brian, that is in the forecast, those snowpack numbers are going to be increasing. And I posted this on my social media, Facebook and Instagram, also Twitter. This is pretty big news. This is for the season, snow water equivalent at 24.7 inches. How much water is in that snowpack, which is what we really care about. Because if you think about it, if you go by inches of snow, that snow does settle eventually. So you got to measure the water. You look at the top three, 1983, 1982, 1984. We're now in the 4th place with the deepest snowpack on record for the state of Utah. And we have snow all the way through Sunday. This number is going to increase, and we're about 1.5 inches away from the all-time record. How much could this change in just those next couple storms when you're looking at this number, not the overall Alta gets 26 to 30? I mean, these are statewide storms, sure. So we could see another 1/2 inch to an inch with each storm that's moving in. So this is definitely in play by the end of the week and into the weekend. All right, thank you, Chase. As we continue to track these storms, you can always download our 2 News weather app to know about the changes in your neighborhood and get the latest on this 1-2 punch, those rounds of storms moving into the state this week. That app is free to download. So let's go in depth in southern Utah, where many residents are on flood watch right now. The rain has been on and off all day in and near St. George in Washington County. Our Amanda Gilbert is there. She is live for us tonight. And Amanda, it looks like you're on a boardwalk of sorts, maybe near a major road. I'm assuming that road goes over a body of water. You're near, I'm guessing, the Virgin River tonight.
Yeah, I am pretty close to being on top of the Virgin River. And, you know, this is one of those stories where people have been preparing and things ended up not being that bad, which is good. That is good news. So I just heard you and Chase talking about the rivers down here. So we're going to give you the visuals. Ben is kind of moving the camera over. We're going to show you the Virgin River. This is moving a lot faster than it normally does. It's also a bit more swollen, a bit more full than usual. But as Chase said, as of now, it's not expected to flood. It's still, you know, it's just been raining on and off throughout the day here today. And I did actually minutes ago speak with Washington County Emergency Management. They said they have seen a few accidents in the area, but nothing major. So they're just reminding people to be careful, stay safe. Right now, the rain's coming down just a little bit, but not bad at all. I do see some storm clouds off in the distance, though.
All right, Amanda, thank you so much. We'll look for more of your coverage coming up tonight on 2 News at 6, also later on this evening at 10 o'clock. We appreciate you. Well, parts of Iron County, fortunately, no stranger to flooding. Today, I spoke with Gabrielle Costello, who works for Cedar City local government. We talked about what residents in this area can do, as flooding can be a concern for the next few weeks or even months.
What are you asking of residents this time of year to prepare around their homes?
So right now, obviously, we are so grateful for all the snow that we've gotten because that definitely helps with our drought, but that does come with some consequences and some things we have to prepare for as a community. And, we are no strangers to flooding, especially in monsoon season. So what we're asking residents right now is to just continue to help us keep your property clean, keep our public spaces clean, such as our Coal Creek, which is where a lot of our flow comes from down the mountain through Cedar Canyon. So clearing your property, helping your neighbors. We do have what we have every year in April is our spring cleaning. And so we actually come out and our public works department comes out and helps get all of your debris and just random branches and things if you put them on the curbside. So we just ask people to get ahead and don't let it come to you. You got to prepare, you got to go out, get your sandbags. We do have those available both at our public works yard and through the county at their animal shelter. We want spring to come. We're all eager for the snow to stop, but we do kind of need to get through this transitionary phase before we can enjoy the sunshine. So we want the sunshine, but we want it to come a little bit slower so that we don't have, too hot of temperatures and so much snow that's going to melt. So with this storm coming up, we just ask everyone to come together and just be prepared.
Well, continuing to go in depth with meteorologist Chase Thomason here on central and southern Utah. What stands out to you?
So we don't get a whole lot of time to explain this, so this is why I love 2 News Live. Because of the geography of southern Utah, they're prone to flash flooding, right? We just checked their current snowpack, and they have more than 2.5 worst season of snowpack right now. So you have 2.5 winters of snow right now in southwestern Utah. All of that is going to be coming down later in the year. Now, when does that come down? That typically is going to happen because of the temperature. Right now, it's cold and we're still seeing more snow in the mountains. So once we start to see more rain, those temperatures climb into the 70s and 80s, all that snow is going to be melting. We don't want to flip the switch too much. We want that gradual warm up, but eventually it's all going to be coming down and there's going to be some issues. So now is the time to prepare.
So not a matter of if, but a matter of when at this point. All right. Thank you, Chase. A celebrity trial dominating the legal landscape in Park City this week. That is where actress Gwyneth Paltrow is defending herself against claims that she caused a ski crash in 2016 at Deer Valley Resort. Now, Lincoln Graves has been in the courtroom all day. Lincoln joins us now live after stepping out of the courtroom, hearing the back and forth initial arguments and hearing from both attorneys for both the plaintiff and the defendant in this case. Lincoln, what did you hear today?
Yeah, we're on our way back from that trial in Park City, Brian. And I remember you covered this yesterday. You said this word, he said, she said, and heard that a lot again today, or at least that was certainly implied. That really is a he said, she said situation. In opening statements from both sides, Terry Sanderson's attorney got up there and said Gwyneth Paltrow ran into his client, slammed into him from the behind and caused them both to tumble to the ground. And then when it was Gwyneth Paltrow's attorney's turn, he got up there and said, no, this is the other way around. He was the uphill skier, Terry Sanderson. He ran into Gwyneth Paltrow, and so he caused this accident. So when we're looking at opening statements, again, it's just a he said, she said type of situation. Witness to get on the stand was a witness for the plaintiff, a man who claims that he did see Gwyneth Paltrow actually hit Terry Sanderson. This was, again, a witness for the plaintiff. But in cross-examination, Gwyneth Paltrow's attorneys got up there and said, well, they kind of really chipped away at his testimony, really kind of implying that he's not remembering it as well as he is saying in testimony today. Brian?
Lincoln, how could things play out the rest of the week here? They were expecting about a week-long trial, it seems like.
Yeah, that's certain. They set aside a certain number of days. You just never know how long a trial is going to take. So we'll see how long it lasts. The witness list also not being shared with the media at this point, so we don't know who exactly is on that witness list. It has been reported that Gwyneth Paltrow will testify in her own defense, but again, anything can change in trial, so we don't know exactly what'll happen. She was there today. She's likely to be there every day. We saw her going into the courtroom and coming out, so we'll see what happens. A lot of attention being paid, though. Brian?
Lincoln, thank you so much. Yesterday here on 2 News Live, Steve Jensen with Parker McConkey in a law firm here in town spoke about the case and how these could typically shake out. Here's some of our conversation as we continue to go in depth on this tonight about what the jury will be looking for when it comes to both Sanderson and Paltrow.
The jury is given specific instructions on what evidence they should consider and which evidence they need to disregard. They're given a set of instructions on the legal standard. The negligence standard, as well as the plaintiff has to show that the injuries he's complaining of were caused by the collision on the ski resort. And so the jury is going to be looking at specifically, what's going to show that Gwyneth Paltrow breached her duty, where maybe she wasn't keeping a proper lookout on the ski hill. She's maybe going too fast for conditions. She's uphill from the other skier. What evidence do you have to show that was the case? Sometimes you want to retain the skis and other equipment worn by the parties. There might be tears or damage to a ski that you can sort of reconstruct. So it can get kind of complicated in the evidence and what the jury is reviewing, but ultimately the jury is just going to go by feel and who they may believe is more credible. And that sort of thing, you have to be in the courtroom. You have to see the body language. You have to see their testimony from each individual witness. It didn't sound like there were any other parties that saw this. So it really is going to come down to the credibility of the plaintiff as well as Mrs. Paltrow.
We want to hear from you at home. We sent out this poll question today asking what's your take on this trial after this incident took place in 2016. By the way, the suits weren't filed for years later, till 2019. So this has been going on quite a long time. Grab that phone, scan the QR code on your screen, and weigh in with us. A lot of you saying that Gwyneth Paltrow was sued just because she's a celebrity. Welcoming in another celebrity here.
Where?
Well, we left him outside.
Okay, well, if
He's
he
on
shows
the other
up,
side of Chris Jones.
if he shows up, let me know. I'll get out of the way.
Tonight at 10, a must-watch 2 News investigation. For months now, Orem City's library has been rocked by allegations of censorship. The Chris Jones here now. Chris, how has the mayor and city council reacted to these claims?
So they've reacted strongly. They say, look, the city council, the mayor had nothing to do with what eventually turned out to be sort of a ban on what was going on in regards to the library. No more heritage celebrations, no more LGBTQ celebrations. So what we started to do, Brian, is we started to dig into this to find out really where this was coming from, because many members of the community were saying, look, the mayor and city council, they're behind it. And the mayor and the city council continue to say that's just not the case. What we found is that there was nothing in terms of written directives from the mayor or the city council. We did a public record search trying to find out if indeed that was the case. We couldn't see anything, couldn't find a directive from anybody. But what we did find as we kind of looked through the record, we scoured through city council meetings, we looked through letters and emails, and what we found is sort of some direct, indirect pressure, some sort of soft pressure that seems to have been applied to the then director of the library. So she felt, fairly or not, that the city council would not approve of any more of these heritage celebrations. So she put the kibosh on that, and now our story kind of takes a look into that. She has since resigned. The library has been shaken up. It used to be kind of its own entity, and now it is under essentially the Parks and Recs department. And so they're in the process now of trying to put together some processes and some ideas of exactly how they're going to move forward with these heritage celebrations. That's coming into fruition as we speak. But right now, the community is really kind of torn up over exactly how this happened. And I think we finally got some answers for the folks in Orem.
All right. Well, if you are interested in this story about how things stand with the library, you can join us tonight for 2 News at 10 o'clock. Remember, all of these stories are on the 2 News app as well, so you can download on your App Store or on Google Play. Let's wrap things up here. with meteorologist Chase Thomason hanging out. If you're looking to travel this season, pack your patience and some extra cash. A new forecast shows spring 2023 may be the busiest travel season ever for the airline industry. You don't have to tell me where you're going, but are you planning to fly?
We're trying, but those prices, those airline prices, they're not cheap. They need to come down just a little bit.
Yeah,
Brian.
they don't feel good.
Right. So AAA's spring travel survey suggests many families are taking multi-generational vacations. If you still haven't booked, here's one tip to find a spring break deal. Consider arbitrage. If you live near a city that has a different spring break schedule, consider booking flights from there instead. We're kind of, on an island here in Salt Lake. You can't really fly anywhere else.
Well, I mean, you can get a small regional if you're lucky in Ogden, and same with
Provo.
Right?
They do
with
have
Breeze.
some deals.
Yep. If you're looking into Breeze Airlines or a different airline, sometimes you can get that, but you know where you're going to make up the fee is if you bring a bag, right? There are other costs that you will
add them
incur.
on.
All right. So what is the best day to book? Isn't it Wednesday? Something like that? It's got to be.
I think that's the best time to fly, Tuesday or Wednesday.
Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yep.
All right. Well, something to take into account when you're looking at a busy spring travel season. For some areas, it's spring break right now. For others, it'll be here in a few weeks. So maybe just take that into account. A reminder that you can find 2 News Live on your phone, your tablet, your computer. You can stream all of our newscasts, not just 2 News Live, on all of those platforms, on Stir, on News On. They're all free to download in the Apple App Store or Google Play. Well, that'll do it for us on this fine Tuesday. Thanks for joining us for 2 News Live. Chase Thomason, Brian Schnee, we are with you Monday through Friday at 5:30. We hope you join us again for more of those in-depth conversations. We've been talking a lot to Chase about Southern Utah, so we will continue those conversations as they continue to mean something to you and to your family. Have a great Tuesday. We're back tomorrow.